making sense of it all. Now let's find out a bit more about some of the words and phrases you've just met. To ask someone what they're doing, you say,
Je ha sibh a déanamh.
What are you doing? Or, if you know the person well, you say,
Je ha ú a déanamh.
You return the question in the usual way by adding the Gaelic for self.
Hain.
You place this after either of the following words.
Ú, sibh.
The question, what are you doing yourselves, would be,
Je ha sibh hain a déanamh.
To say that we are going somewhere, you say,
Ha sin a dul go.
This means we are going to, followed by the place you're going. If you're going to a céilí, you say,
Ha sin a dul go céilí.
If you're going to a dance, you say,
Ha sin a dul go dansa.
If you're going to a particular dance, you say,
Ha sin a dul chun an dansa.
We're going to the dance. To ask when something starts, you say, when is,
Cúine ha
followed by the word for the event, for example.
an céilí
You then add the word,
atá seachug. Cúine ha an céilí atá seachug.
when does the céilí start? To respond by saying that it begins at a certain time, you say,
Ag 8 uaireann.
at 8 o'clock. If you want to ask where something is, you say,
Cartraville.
This is followed by the name of the place or thing you're asking about, as in,
Cartraville and Dowser.
where is the dance? You reply by saying, for example, in the hall.
Ounce and Halle.
To ask if someone wants to do something, you say,
A bhfuil sibh ar son.
do you want to? This is followed by whatever it is you're suggesting. To ask if someone wants to go to the dance, for example, you say, do you want to go to the dance?
A bhfuil sibh ar son a gol chun an dansa.
You can reply by saying simply, yes,
Ha.
or you can say, no.
Chanil.
The grammar you'll need. Gaelic has a number of words for to when it's used to indicate position. For example, to a concert, to the match. Two of these occur in this conversation.
Gu.
This is used when the destination is not very specific and is preceded in English by the word a. Going to a céilí is therefore
Adol go céilí.
going to a dance is.
Adol go Dowser.
If you're being more specific about the destination and preceding it with the word the, you use the form
Chun.
going to the dance is therefore.
Adol chun and Dowser.
You'll notice that the word for the in these examples is different. There are various forms of the word the in Gaelic. Don't worry about them for now. They'll be explained in a later conversation. A common form of verb in English is the one that ends in ing. There are 3 examples of the Gaelic equivalent of this in the first part of the conversation.
A déanamh.
Doing or making.
A dul.
Going.
A táisceachug.
Starting or beginning. Notice that the common element in each isn't the ending, as in English, but the that comes before the main word. When telling the time in hours in Gaelic, you usually put the word for hours
Uaireann.
after the relevant number. 8 o'clock is therefore,
8 uaireann.
and 3 o'clock would be.
3 uaireann.
There are some exceptions to this pattern.
Un uair diac.
11 o'clock is literally 1 hour, teen, while 2 o'clock is literally 2 hour.
Da uair.
The number 2 is always followed by the singular form of the next word. You specify am by putting the following after the hour.
Sa bhatain.
So, for example, 2 a.m. or 2 in the morning is.
Da uair sa bhating.
The word
son,
means for, but can be used after forms of the verb to be to indicate a desire. For example,
vil sibh son a gáil ann.
this conveys the meaning, do you want to go there? Although it literally means, are you for going there? Over to you. Now have a go at being James and Anne in the conversation and give the Gaelic after the English prompts. Let's start. What are you doing tonight?
Dé ha sibh a díanamh anoch.
Hashing a dul go céili san taosta. Dé ha sibh héin a déanamh.
We're going to a dance.
Hashing a dul go dansa.
When does the Gaelic start?
Cúnne han céili atá sechug. Ag 8 uaran.
Cáte bhfuil an damhsa.
In the hall.
Ans an talla.
Cúnne han dansa atá sechug.
At 11 o'clock.
Ag unúr diag.
Bhfuil sibh ar son a gáil chun I chéili.
Yes, indeed.
Ha go dearabh.
Do you want to go to the dance?
Bhfuil sibh son a gáil chun an dansa? Oh, ha.
Bhí sin ma.
Well done. Now try taking the parts of Margaret and Callum. Say the Gaelic part of the conversation after the English prompts.
Dé ha sibh a díanamh anoch.
We're going to a Cayley in the hotel.
Hashing a dul go céili san taosta.
What are you doing yourselves?
Dé ha sibh héin a déanamh. Hashing a dul go dansa. Cúnne ha an céili atá sechug.
At 8 o'clock.
Ag 8 uaran.
Where is the dance?
Cáte bhfuil an damhsa.
Ans an talla.
When does the dance start?
Cúnne han dansa atá sechug. Ag unúr diag.
Do you want to go to the Cayley?
Bhfuil sibh ar son a gáil chun I chéili.
Ha go dearabh. Bhfuil sibh ar son a gáil chun an dansa?
Oh, yes.
Oh, ha.
That will be good.
Bhí sin ma.
Well done. Why don't you replay Conversation 3, Part 1 again just for good measure before moving on to Part 2? Conversation 3, Part 2, discussing the night out. In this conversation, you'll learn how to ask and say where something is located, ask and say who is playing, ask when something stops and say when, and ask if something is good. Key words and phrases. Here are the new words and phrases you'll need for this part. Repeat them out loud after you hear them. It, he. Between.
Étar.
The school.
An scoil.
Who's playing?
Có ha clúich.
Colin's band.
Cálan chalainn.
They.
Iat.
Stopping.
Ystat.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Da uair sa bhating.
Oh my goodness.
Ov.
Tired.
Ski.
Tomorrow.
Amárach.
Now listen to Conversation 3, Part 2, discussing the night out. Just listen first to practice your listening skills and to reinforce your knowledge of the words and expressions you've just learned. James, Anne, Margaret and Callum discuss details of the evening out.
Cáte bhfuil an talla. Hai feiscéad an taosta.
Ha idir an taosta agus an scoil.
Có ha clúich ag an damhsa.
Cálan chalan.
a bhiliad ma.
Ha gyaraf.
Cúine ha an damsa a stad.
Ik da oor sa fadain.
Ov. Bishin ski madig.
Now listen to the conversation again, repeating after the speakers in turn. Making sense of it all. To say something is positioned between two places or buildings, you use the word between.
Itter.
This is followed by the first location and then the word for and, which is
Agus.
This is then followed by the next location. Listen to the example in the conversation. Between the hotel and the school.
Itter an taosta agus an skol.
In Gaelic, the question word who is.
Ko,
Who is playing is.
ko ha clich.
To ask if something is good, you say is.
A vil.
Then you say whatever it is you're asking about, followed by the word.
Ma.
So, the question, are they good, is.
A vil iet ma.